Our job is to report the news, not fabricate it. That's the government's job.
Right guys, a quick one here because some media hacks are reporting that Boris Johnson is a little bit angry today. There was a leak last night stating the government apparently plans to ruin more people's lives with a pointless lockdown that relies on wild predictions, having borrowed Mystic Meg's crystal ball to make these predictions, it would seem. It's a bit like the Remainers last year, relying on Mystic Meg's crystal ball in order to push their Project Fear narrative about Brexit that was about as believable as the government's claims right now. But speaking of Remainers, it is the Corbynista lefties and Ramona FBPE types who back Boris Johnson's policies on this, because they all know they essentially got Jeremy Corbyn and the hard left in Downing Street with Boris Johnson at the moment. You might remember he prorogued Parliament and they all screamed dictator, yet he literally goes full Kim Jong-un and puts the country under an illegal house arrest and they all pay homage to him. You really couldn't make it up. So I am glad once again to be on the opposing side to the FBPE losers and hard left Corbynista types, who are now happy lockdown fanatics helping to push the universal basic income they all wanted last year through these restrictions that, like I've said before, Jeremy Corbyn would be proud of. And yes, I know, Corbyn likely would have been far worse than even Boris the bullshit merchant had he got in office, but Boris, it seems, is trying to tell him to hold his beer with the crap he is pulling. Now all of yous likely know a lot of Boris Johnson's former supporters now despise him, not only for these lockdowns, but also for their failure to take control on immigration, which is added to with the fact they plan to drop the wage cap by 10k, as I said the other day. Obviously letting more people in to take more jobs that will now have 1,000 people applying for them, not the 100 there was before they crashed the economy and put millions of Brits out of work. And of course Labour are completely hopeless now, stuck in their own growing scandal that I have to say dropped with impeccable timing, literally forcing them into even greater damage control modes than the flip-flopping Tories have been doing lately, and will naturally fully support the lockdown measures while demanding more money, pushing us towards universal basic income, where the government literally owns your ass. But Boris will hold a press conference at 5 PM apparently, feeding you a bunch of bullshit, and the country will be plunged into the shit again next week, so we got that to look forward to.
There is a pattern consistent throughout history of oppressed people turning on the oppressors. Slaves against their owners, the peasantry against the feudal barons, colonies, Mr. Verhofstadt, against their empires. And that is why Britain is leaving. And it doesn't matter which language you use, we are going and we are glad to be going. We're off.